Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Dandio here, and if you are new here, I want to welcome you to my channel, and I want you to take a moment and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any video I upload. So thanks to everyone who have been actually sharing my video, and if you've not been sharing my video, at least after today's video, take a moment and after watching you share the video as well, so that you could actually educate people around you about these things that we talk about on this channel. So it's another edition of Medtalk, and as you already know from the title, I'm going to be giving you tips that could help with your insomnia. But before I do, let's go on to talk about what insomnia is, because some people actually misuse the word insomnia. So we're going to be looking at what insomnia is itself and some causes of insomnia. Then I'll go on to give you the tips that would help you with your insomnia. So it is the difficulty in falling asleep, staying asleep, or awakening too early after going to sleep, at least for a month. And this is all that causes distress and impairment of either social, occupational, or even some other aspects of functioning. And that is the definition of insomnia. And now let's look at some facts about insomnia. So you have to know that about 30% of every population suffer some bouts of insomnia. That means that insomnia is very common in every population, meaning that you watching me might have had some bout of insomnia. I have actually had some bout of insomnia as well. That is why it is very important for me to discuss this topic with you today. So it's also said that females also suffer insomnia even more than males as well. And this fact about females suffering from insomnia more than men was actually attributed to the hormonal imbalance, which is actually more common in females than men. So one other thing that you have to know is that we have types of insomnia. We have a primary insomnia and we have a secondary insomnia. But what we are going to be dealing today is the primary insomnia. So first, let's talk about the secondary insomnia. So secondary insomnia is a type of insomnia that is actually caused by some medical illness, some mental disorder, some substance abuse, or drug addiction. So it means that the difficulty in sleep can be caused by several things, but this category of causes are under the section of secondary insomnia. So primary insomnia. So the main cause of primary insomnia is stress. So it may be stress from school, it may be stress from work, it may be also stress from financial reasons. So there's a cycle that we go through pertaining to stress in relation to primary insomnia. So this is the cycle. So the person goes to bed, start thinking about the day's events or the problems of life. Then the mind starts racing, person can't go to bed, and now you begin to think about the fact that you can't sleep. And this causes more arousal and consciousness and makes it even less likely for you to fall asleep. So this is the cycle that you go through almost every day and every night when you can't go to sleep or when you have insomnia. It's a common cycle, and this is what we will address in the tips for insomnia. So another cause of insomnia is irregular sleep pattern due to working hours. So why this happens is that if you subject yourself to a particular thing for a very long time, your body becomes used to it. So here, people who work usually on 9 shifts and resume later on a day shift, now it becomes very difficult for them to go to sleep, especially at night. This is because the body has actually become so used to staying away at night. So here it will take a while for the body to also adjust to the daytime shift. So that is another cause of primary insomnia. So now let's go to the tips for insomnia. And remember that these tips are very simple tips that if you keep practicing them, it becomes part of you and it will help with your insomnia. So the first tip is writing away your worries. So initially I stated a cycle of primary insomnia, and this first one addresses the first thing that you do before you go to bed, and that is worrying. So people, before they go to bed, they actually think about the day's activity and even what will happen tomorrow. So it is better to set aside a time that you sit and also plan for the next day, either than going to bed thinking about what you do the next day. So what you can do is that you actually write down what you want to do the next day. So instead of thinking about them, you are actually sitting to write solutions to those worries and those problems. And this should be done before you go to bed. Not that when you actually get to bed before you start to think about them. But when you set aside a time and write whatever you want to do during the next day, at least it'll put your mind at ease to find solutions to what you've planned for the next day. If it's the targets that you're supposed to meet at work, you actually sit down and plan ways and means to probably reach that target than to go to bed and think about those ways. So it's all in writing down your plans than to stay in bed and worry about them. When you're also a student too, one thing that you can also do is that also plan your day. Write it down before you actually go to bed. And this is also preferred to rather you lying in bed thinking about what will happen tomorrow. That is why I call it writing away your worries. And this should be done before bedtime, not in bed. That is the difference. And this is a vital tip that actually helps, and when you practice it, it actually becomes part of you. So instead of you staying in bed to worry, you actually write away your worries. And the second tip is that if you can't sleep after 20 minutes, you don't have to stay in bed, because also that is part of the cycle of insomnia. So you can either get out of bed, get something to read till you are feeling very sleepy before you go to bed. Also, you can even get out of bed if you want to watch TV. You can even watch TV, but don't stay in bed to do that. So you're better off getting out of bed to do something till you feel sleepy again before you go back to sleep. So the next tip is make sure your bed is comfortable. And one way that I can assure you to keep this a habit is by making your bed every morning. So they said that if you want to change the world, make your bed. So what this means is that giving attention to the little things around you could go a long way to help you. So sometimes in making a change, we ignore the little things around us and rather we go on to focus on rather the big things. So if you can't change the smaller things around you, how can you change the bigger things? And that is what this quote means. So if you can't make this simple change by making your bed every morning, why would you want to target changing the bigger things around you? So let's try making our bed very comfortable. And our bed is what we will eventually lie on when we come home after a tiring day. So why not make it comfortable? Because if you're sleeping on a bed that is very uncomfortable, you become distressed and you can't go to sleep. So please make sure that your bed is comfortable. So the next thing is create a restful sleeping environment. So you want to make sure that the bedroom is a peaceful place of rest. So the temperature, the lighting, and even the noise level in your room should be controlled. You're ready to go to bed, the room is warm, and you took your shower some time ago. So why not go back and take some cold shower before you come to bed again? Because if you don't do that, you go to bed and again you become worried about you not being able to sleep because you're feeling warm, whilst you can just wake up and just take some cold shower before you go to sleep, and that can help with the temperature as well. So whatever you would do to make the sleeping environment very comfortable, try as much as you can. Some people would even want to keep the room smelling very good, and this calms them down before they actually go to sleep, because you don't want to go to bed distressed. Remember, that is part of the cycle of insomnia. So the last tip is exercise. So numerous researches have actually gone to show how exercises actually improve the quality of sleep in people who have insomnia. And this improvement of sleep was actually linked to this phase of sleep called the deep sleep. Again, I'll actually leave the link to the research in the description box, so you could probably read more about the research. And also exercise have actually shown to stabilize mood and also decompress mood. But most importantly, you have to note that the timing of the exercise is very important. You wouldn't want to exercise and right after that you would go to sleep, because some researchers have actually gone to show that going to bed immediately after exercising can even cause insomnia. Because when you exercise, the body releases something we call endorphins, and endorphin heightens your mood. So the timing of exercise is very important. So you wouldn't want to exercise and right after exercising you go to sleep. And this, I'm talking about nighttime sleep. And you're not exercising just for the insomnia, you are exercising to stay healthy. So practicing early morning exercises as a habit or as a lifestyle goes a long way to prevent insomnia. So this has been all about insomnia and my 5 tips about ways that can help you to improve your insomnia. I hope you've learned a lot from this video, and if you have, be sure to like the video and even share the video also with someone as well. And while you're doing that, you are helping that person who might be suffering from insomnia. So this is where we come to the end of another session of Medtalk. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next video.